Let's bring in our panelists, Robert Sinclair, Manager of Media Relations at AAA, and Patrick DeHaan, Head of Petroleum Analysis at Gas Buddy. Thanks both of you for coming on. We'll start with Patrick. So how are you viewing things right now? If we're looking at what's going on with gasoline prices and how that's impacting what we're seeing showing up at the price of the pump, has it been as volatile as what we've seen from just crude oil in general? Is what's been going on at the pump, has it matched that, or has it been a little bit more, I'd say, tamped down in terms of volatility?
Yeah, not so much. Gas prices have really been continuing to creep lower, but we haven't seen the volatility in retail prices that what we've seen in oil. So the national average has actually moved down 6 straight weeks into Labor Day. We're now at our cheapest Labor Day weekend since Labor Day weekend of 2016. And the good news is that I think gas prices will continue to decelerate. They'll continue to drop, especially getting into mid and late September, and that could last through Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And then Robert, we'll ask you, how do you view, I would say, what you're hearing from a lot of AAA members in terms of the driving season, how much time they're spending, and how much that price is impacting what they want to go out there and do?
Well, they're certainly taking a lot of road trips. We're anticipating somewhere in the mid 40 million we would take a trip. We didn't do projections, but Memorial Day was 43 million and July 4th was 49 million. So it's safe to say that somewhere in the mid 40 million or top 40 million will be taking a trip for the holiday weekend. But one thing that we are seeing is people maybe aren't traveling the distances that they have in the past. When you look at traffic conditions around most of the major cities around the country, it's busy all the time. So I think people are kind of gun shy from all the traffic from their commute. They're taking a trip, but maybe they aren't traveling as far. But they're certainly getting away, taking advantage of the holiday weekend. Americans get the fewest number of vacation days of any workers in the industrialized world, so we get a freebie, we take advantage of it.
And then I guess we could ask Patrick, if you're looking at just the wallet and how much of the consumer wallet is being used up by this, is this something where they have plenty of discretionary money that they can still go out there, spend money on gas? It's not going to impact what they're doing elsewhere. What's that looking like, kind of in terms of share amount of their wallet they're having to put to gas?
Well, I'm sure there's never enough discretionary money for motorists. They don't want to pay anything, but there's certainly plenty left over. I'm sure they would like prices lower, but certainly right now, gas prices are almost 30 cents a gallon lower than last year. We're still spending $1 billion a day on gasoline. I think what you're seeing more is not necessarily that the money they have left over is a caution tale, but what you're seeing in the U.S.-China trade relations is certainly maybe slowing down their vigor for buying other things, going to the fast food chains on this weekend, the casual sit-down restaurants. But overall, I mean, gasoline prices this year have been more affordable than last year, and I'm sure that's great news for most Americans.
And then, Robert, do you see the gasoline prices, and you can think, do you view what we pay to put gas in our car as kind of having a similar effect of what the airlines have to pay for gas to put in their jets? Have those prices been more or less in line, or is there starting to be one becoming relatively, I'd say, cheaper or more expensive, to where it's changing preferences for how we're going to travel? We're going to drive instead of take that flight.
There is a core, roughly 30% of the population that does not have the elasticity in their budgets to deal with fluctuating gasoline prices, at least in the higher range. We did a survey earlier in the year, and 33% said that if gasoline hit $3 a gallon, that they would have to make some sort of change in their life to be able to afford those gasoline prices, even not eating out at restaurants, delaying major purchases, carpooling, using a higher mileage vehicle. So, for 70%, roughly, it's okay, but there's a core roughly 33% out there that would have a tough time if gasoline prices really started surging.
Interesting. All right. I think that was a good look at what you can expect for gas going into the holiday weekend, and then also going back into the fall. Thanks to our panel, Robert Sinclair, Manager of Media Relations at AAA, and Patrick DeHaan, Head of Petroleum Analysis at Gas Buddy.